All right, thank you for joining us. Today is Friday, and with us today again we have Captain Cork. How are you doing this morning, Captain Cork? Well, very good, Greg. Thank you very much for having me on again. That was a real blast the last time. Yes, Captain Cork, that was very, very interesting, and I just had to have you back because you, of course, you created more questions, and I have a lot of questions for you today. Well, that's fine, Greg. I'm here. I'm happy to be here and answer your questions. So, Captain Cork, what is this you've brought here this morning? It looks like a flat Earth map. So you're going to take us and teach us more about the flat Earth today. I'm guessing. Well, yes, Greg. No, but I have to say this before we get too much into this. I have to give you a little bit of a disclaimer for yourself and for your audience, because we're getting into a little bit of sensitive information here, and you don't realize it. You know, everybody thinks, oh yes, flat Earth they're a bunch of fools. But to be honest, I'm not stupid. You know, I don't think about the heliocentric spinning balls because it's not part of my operations, you understand. And I'm from a very old line of navigators, and we can't break that chain, if you understand. And we'll get into that. But it's a chain of information. And before I leak too much of me seal, I have to give you a bit of a disclaimer. Now, any of this information that you're going to hear from Captain Cork here this morning is for entertainment purposes only. It's not for any kind of enlightenment. You understand that now, Greg? Entertainment is not enlightenment. And enlightenment is something that we actually can't really hold in this world. You see, some say that the earth is a prison. And if they say the truth will set you free, that's a paradox. See, if truth sets you free, then you can't be in this world. And so you can't have your cake and eat it too. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, the flat earth is such a sensitive subject that right now, as we're speaking, you see they're crawling the internet and searching and listening for anybody that says anything about the flat earth, and right away they'll put up a sign. This is wrong. This is archaic. These people are a bunch of fools. And you see, you wonder, why is it? Why is it such a red flag? Well, Captain Cork, I never thought about that, but that's true. I mean, why is flat Earth such a sensitive thing? I mean, there's plenty of nonsense being uploaded to YouTube today, and you won't see these red flag, Wikipedia warnings under the rest of the nonsense on YouTube today. Well, no, that's true, Greg. That's because, you see, this has to do with intellectual property. And, you see, in truth, how you rule is by ruling the mind, the collective mind. And you see, if you can create gaps with the collective mind, you can disconnect them from becoming a group, an organized group. You see what I'm saying? Like, so, on a ship, and I want you to understand, on a ship, the group mind meant survival. We had no time to argue. Had no time to have differences. Everybody had to be on the same page. And in order to do that, we all had to think on the same page. And it was an automatic process that come with repetition. It come with a repertoire. Actually, it was a repertoire of songs. And so, the way it is like this. Everything on the ship was singing in time, in a good time. Now, Captain Cork, this is one of the things I wanted to ask you about. Keeping time on a ship. How did you keep time on a ship, like back in the 1500s? Like, you didn't have watches, you certainly didn't have an iPhone. And on a cloudy day, you couldn't see the sun. Or a cloudy night, you couldn't see the stars. But still, you had to keep time. And tell me, why was time so important on a sailing ship? Now, you see, Greg, if you knew where you were in time, you knew where you were in space. And if you're on an ocean, you are relying on your reference points. You see, GPS is a triangulation of information being sent here and there. And you're able to pinpoint in real time as you go. Now, if you go out in your car and you're looking at yourself driving along on a map, it's about triangulation. It's about trigonometry. So wherever you move, the monad of the equation will move. So now, this is the way it worked for us as well. So we were navigating by the stars, we were navigating by the sun, we were navigating by the moon, and everything gave us the different sets of information. So the ship had to be very organized, because depending where we were, we're following a rhythm, we're following a course of direction. And to be lost meant that our chances of survival were lessened. Now, Captain Cork, there's something that occurred to me. You spoke of singing. You spoke of songs, and you kept time with songs. Yes, Greg. Now, you're a musician yourself, aren't you? Yes, I am. Now, have you ever played out in the pubs? Yes, I have. I played in the pubs lots. Now, tell me something. When did you start, usually, your night? And when did you end? Well, usually when we got set up, we would start at 9 o'clock and we would end at 12 o'clock. Now, so you had 3 sets, didn't you? You sang 3 sets from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock, yes? That's right, yes, we sang 3 sets. A set was about 45 minutes, then we got 15-minute break. And by the time we got through our 3 sets, the 3 hours were up. Now, Greg, I'm going to tell you something. And this is how cliches will teach us. Have you ever heard of 3 squares a day? Yes, that means that's your meals. That's right, Greg. There's 3 squares because you're eating on the corners of the timepiece. Now, the timepiece is the same as the map. So see, where you are in your time is where you are in your space. And we'll get into the greater details of that as we go. But what I'm getting at is you sang your 3 sets, and then you got to eat. So if you got up in the morning at breakfast, and I say if you had your breakfast, you see in the timepiece or in the chart or in the celestial chart, there's breaks. And you get to take a break at the 4 corners. And so you had to sing to those 4 corners because, listen to me now, a shanty, a sea shanty, was actually a chant. So we're chanting in space and time. And so there were groups on the ship, and they had their sets. So usually it was like three fellas that had 3 sets, and they would sing and get up in the morning and they'd start the 3 sets. And you see, we could always hear the songs, and that was our timepiece. The timepiece was written in the heavens, was written in the songs. Do you understand? Now you see, heavens and songs, that's the same sonos, same gematria value. And none of what I'm talking about to you is out of order. Everything is extremely organized in the information that I'm going to give you. So you sing for your supper because you sing your sets, and then you got to eat. You were telling your time. You knew when you got through, say, 15 songs that were all timed. And because you got three men singing a song, one song, the time was averaged. And actually, the time was very accurate amongst a group that know the songs by heart. You see, it was perfect in its rhythm. And so the way we operated across the map of time and space, you see, imagine now on the vernal equinox, where we had equal day and equal night. And in that equal day and equal night, we measured 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. So this is where we would start our sets. After the vernal equinox, we could set sail, holding our songs. And so all the men, they had their sets, and they loved their songs, they loved their sets. And this is how we kept the morality up on the ship. Now, because here's a given. You might say to me, Captain Cork, that sounds a little bit out there, that you guys, were singing for your suppers, and you were singing in time, and keeping the rhythm on the ship. But you see, this is the way it was. It made time effortless. You see, we didn't have to count, because when you learn a song, you don't have to count. You don't have to be conscious about it. It's all going on subconscious. So what you're doing is you're setting the subconscious mind in motion. And when you've got that super mind, that super conscious mind, you've got the power mind going. So you got what we call the mind of Christ. Now, of course, as we get into this now, I'm going to start talking about the Master. And you're going to recognize who the Master is. But I'm not going to say. You're going to have to determine that for yourself. Because the Master is the super mind that's written all the books, made all the rules. And so the Master is our anchor. He's our rule. He's where we get our pitch. So let me ask you this now. In correspondence, now, you're a singer. There's a singer. And for 6 months, you're a sailor. And then you go ashore for 6 months. You're a builder or carpenter. And when you're a carpenter, your pitch, you understand now that you're able to sing in angles. Please, these are givens. So as a carpenter, you set your square. See, you got your square, and you're able to sing. You're able to sing to a degree of an angle, which is your pitch. See, the human voice is like the sun. And actually, it's the same value, because the human voice, on a cloudy day was as good as the sun shining. And I'm not saying that to be a poet. I'm saying that out of operation. So in the supermind of Christ, you see that Christ organizes language, and he organizes the pitches of the language, and he creates the words. And so as a supermind, as a group, as singing the same songs, we're singing in time, we're together as a brotherhood. We're surviving. Look, there's no fighting. There's no conflict. We rely on each other to eat. And when you got a group together and you're singing in time, let me tell you, it's what we call a good time. So we're keeping good time on the ship, singing. You go on any job site today, they got radios going, yes? It's going all day long, isn't it? So this is no different than being on a sailing ship. The shanty's going from sunrise to sunset. All day long. And you've got different groups. They're waiting. They're eager to sing. You see, because it becomes to light up the hearts and the minds of men. And you see, when a man's singing, he's actually in the same angle, the same pitch as his stars. He's like his father, you see? He's like his pattern. And patterns in the song and in the rhythm and the way we operated was how we rolled on the ocean and on the waves. See, if you look at music, if you look at the value of that word, you'll understand how the Christ mind made the words. See, music is the same value as solar. Now you can go to the Sonos Gematria calculator and calculate that yourself, right? That's like the power of song comes from your mouth. See, the mouth and the power, the same value as Christ. See, if you put the mouths together, the power becomes to be in the sounds. Sounds is the same Sonos Gematria as numbers. See, if you were seeking your kingdom, you're seeking your number. You're seeking your sound. See, number and sound is the same as your kingdom. See what I'm saying, Greg? Right? So we cut our tones, you see, or we cut our sounds with the pitch of our angles, the pitches of our voice. And so we were operating where one thing is all things, and all things brought onto the ship a supermind. And so if you want to know the basic truth about the flat earth, see, the flat earth carries a heritage of sound and numbers. Now you go straight away now to the Sonos Gematria calculator and you calculate the word heritage, and you calculate the word sound, and you calculate the word number, and you'll see that they're all the same value of 438. Now that 438, think about this now. This is put in place by the mind of Christ. It's the power mind. And never mind, I'm not trying to draw out any fantastic mythologies here. I'm drawing upon perfect correspondence of geometry, mathematics, acoustics, and time space. Say, you can call it nonsense if you want, but I'm drawing out what's called tangents. It's tangible. Why is it tangible? Because it's all geometric. It all falls into place. This is where your dots and your angles connect. You see, if I say to you that my Father in heaven are the angles and the dots connected, you'll say, well, I don't understand that. But you see, go ahead, calculate it. Calculate the dots. DOTS. Calculate the angles. Calculate your angels. You see, in the history books, that's rewritten not to enlighten you, it's to entertain you or entrain you. You see? See, entertainment is entrainment. And so when they're able to entrain you and create blocks and separate those blocks, you become what? Become a blockhead. That's what you become. And you become a blockhead trapped in your own boxed word. See, a word gets all boxed up. But you see, as a sailor, we open that box. We open that box, and 365 days we say one thing. Don't fear. Fear not. And that's your motto. So fear is, you see, breaking those chains with no fear, because there's one chain that keeps us all together. And see, that's a chain of song. And if you looked up and if you saw that there was a great chain around us, that chain, you see, doesn't have to imprison us. That chain can free us. But you see, you can't have that truth on the earth. Because on the earth, you see, the mind becomes corrupt. You get technology that some man sees, and he's like, he's got the seed of greed in him. And he says, well, I'm going to have more than this fella, so I'm going to control him and I'm going to manipulate him. And I know the science of how to manipulate not only him, but all of his friends and his family. And I can manipulate the towns and the cities, because I can break them all up. Because I know how to do it. I'm a master mariner. You see? And that's as well why the sacred sciences are sacred. They're sacred because they're secret. You see, the thing is that when a mind becomes out of sync, or when a mind sinks, rather, when you become out of sync, you sink. You sink your ship, and you kind of lose your mind of love and your mind of light. And so this is where it all falls. This is where the angels fall. You descend in your heart. So this is why we like to keep the momentum through song, because once you're in that mind, that power mind, singing your song in time, in rhythm, keeping a good time, your heart is good, your heart is happy. And you see, everybody wants the one good end. And when you can see that good end through, say, the collectivity of goodness, you can't stop it. And so when you come ashore, then you start to see, the corruption that's landed. And it's very hard to see. So now this is why we're talking about the flat earth. And I'm on board to share with you, the operations of a sailor and the operations of the ship as a mind. and to show you the correspondence of how you're operating on that ship yourself. You see, in your mind, if you can silence yourself just a little bit even for 3 minutes. For 3 minutes, if you could identify the passengers on your own ship. And I'm going to call out the passengers. They're the words of your dialogue, your inner dialogue. And that dialogue comes from your own inner chart. See, you have to be able to take control of your own crew, of your own ship. Now, if I've lost you, what I'm talking about is a map and an operation system of correspondence where everything is perfect. Everything is mapped, charted by the master. And the master comes and he sits before you in your mantra. Now you might wonder, what is the mantra? See, the mantra is your water. It's your chanty. It's where you truly exist. Now I say truly because in your operations, for what is real, for what it's worth, it's about love and it's about survival. And it's about surviving by love and not by greed and fear. Because when you're surviving on those principles, you're destined for one place and you're going to fall. And you're going to hit your head very hard. But you won't wake up until you hit your head hard enough. So here in the flat earth now we're looking at the truth. But you see, we have to go out on the water. We have to go out on the soul itself to discover that truth, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can only hold the truth for a little while. And modern day man, if he can silence his own inner dialogue from the nonsense, because you're bombarded with a lot of say what I call centrifugal forces, where you can't center yourself. So here on the ship, we're able to be centered. Now I'm going to show you something from a tool that I've created. It's a modern day navigational system of the soul or of the water. Like I said, you can calculate everything I'm saying. If you calculate the soul, you will see that soul, S-O-U-L, has the same value as water. It has the same value as mantra. You see, if you can bring your mind to the raw or to the radius point, see, that's the mantra. The mantra is your mantra. That's where your soul is. That's where you can position yourself and take a breath. Now look, I'll show you today's mantra. Today is Friday. And I show you where the angles, or how the angles sing in the mantra. Now, check this out now, Greg. You see, on the Gleason's map now, we're seeing a mantra. You see the point, the cross, is nailed to the center of the map. Now, let me take you back to the map. You see that black dot in the middle of the Gleason's map, the equidistant map? It's a black dot. You see, that shows one thing. That's the focus of dielectric. That's where all your energy is going to pour. Now let me put the cross on that dielectric. Let me show you. Here. Watch. Do you see it? Yes. Okay. Now see that little cross? That's your focus point. That's what you're aiming for. All right. You see, your pitch now is going to be important, and your counts. And do you see those little squares? See those little squares, you see? See my cursor? My cursor? Notice what I call the cursor. I call the cross a cursor, isn't it? Yes, because you know what? You can curse with cross. A cross is an energetic tool of the master. So let me put the cross now upon the sonos, and I could energize. I can energize, you see, these tones. See, you've got 306 there. You see, that's the power module that rules with the power module of 486. 486 is the value of Venus. 306 is the value of Mars. But you see, you got to understand one thing. You see, Mars itself, or Venus itself, it doesn't rule the day. The name is what rules. And you see, in the name is where the tone is. Now, if I say is where the tone is, I'm saying it's where the sun is. And it's all about where the sun is. And so you see, if we're on this chart here, look at this. If we're sailing on this chart, and we departed at the vernal equinox, okay, where's the sun at the vernal equinox? Tell me, Greg. Well, at the vernal equinox, the sun enters Aries. That's right, Greg. That's the correct pitch. The correct pitch then is at 0 degrees. And so then every day forward, we go about 1 degree, but it's not 1 degree because the sun is going to do a loop, or it's going to do a father of 360 degrees. And you see, 360 is the value of the master word. Understand that? 360 is the sonos value of word. And every day forward, we go a degree. Now, I want to tell you something that's very important here. But I'm not saying that, this is a lot of information to take in. But you see, the chart is a sailor's seal. Now, you remember the story of Solomon. You see, Solomon, he had a temple, and his temple was his mind. And his temple had dimensions. And I can take you into other correspondence stories that could show you the same. Now, if you went into the Christian Bible, King James, I believe, where St. John says if you can count, if you can add, man's number is 6. Do you know what he meant by that, Greg? Captain Cork, I don't. I don't. But you're going to tell me, aren't you? Yes, Greg, I'm going to tell you. Man's number is 6 because that, you see, is his cubit. We're not talking about 18 inches from the fingertop to the elbow. We're talking about 6 sides. We're talking about a cubit, a unit of sound. So each day we went 6 days and then we had a rest. It was all about tone. It was all about what's written in heaven. So we went 6 days, we had a rest. We had another 6 days, we went 52 weeks. This is where your cards went on the table. You got 52 cards. See, we got 52 weeks. So everything's going to come together in correspondence. Now you understand why you're singing for your supper. Because you sing your sets. Why are they sets? Because a set is where the sun goes and it changes. It changes hands. The card changes hands. You see, the card is the god or the ruler of the hour. Do you understand that? Probably not. You see, this is information that the mind has long been disconnected from. But still, you can hear it in the cliches. They haven't severed it altogether, because we're still singing for our suppers. We might repeat that. You go out in the pub, you're singing 3 sets as a band. A set was an hour. It's a set because that's when the power that the sun is operating through, is changing hands. So our daylight hours was developed by 12. And so the whole thing comes together through a base of 6. That's why the man's number is 6. The navigator's number is 6. And the power mind's number is 6. You see, they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to understand that the cubit is a unit of sound. And the cubit is what you can travel with should you open it up and put a circle around it. Once you put a circle around it, you've got power mind. Do you understand that? See, the circle is the power. Circle is the power to create information within the equidistant circle map. Now let me show you this again. You see, energy is not the same as power. When you've got that red circle, you see that red circle of the map? Right in front of you. Now let me put some information on it. Now, you see that square in there? That's the power. That's the morning square. See, we're going to begin at 3:06. We're going to sing 3 sets. We're going to make it to the next point. We're going to sing 3 more sets. We'll make it to the next set. We'll sing 3 more sets. We can make it to the next set. That's 3 squares. See, we've had 3 meals. And so there's correspondence of your gut will tell you. It's a gut instinct. It's a gut intelligence. And so when you bring all the guts, the gut brains together, you're eating together, you're singing together, you're sailing together. You become to be engaged with the master. So that's when the master comes. Now I got to ask you this. Where did you meet Captain Cork? Truly, now tell me the truth. Now where does Captain Cork come from, and where does he start speaking? That's a good question, Captain Cork, because it's usually when I'm in meditation and mantra that you just come and you start talking about ideas that I've never ever heard before. Now, Greg, it's in the mantra that I come and I start speaking to you. But it's not true that you never heard it before, because that's a lie. Everything is in you already. It's all upon and within your heart. And that's what the Master said. The Master said the kingdom is within. It's within the heart. And you see, if you understand this, you know how to draw upon the heart. You see that? You see that red circle out there? That's the heart drawn out. And that's how it works. You see, this is not just a map, but it's a reflection of the self and the operations, your daily operations and your yearly operations, and your operations for each second and for every step. Now, if I said go to the Sonos Gematria calculator this once now, at once, do it. I want you to do it. Calculate step. Simple word. See, it's 360, isn't it? Every word is a step. Now, count second. What's a second? See, a second is 362. Isn't it? Yes, it is. So every second is a revolution. Every step is a revolution. Every word is a revolution. What you have when you have everything in revolution is your dialogue. You're dialing. And when you're dialing in correct tone, in correct pitch, in correct operation, I'm saying good operation, you keep in good time, the master comes. And the master just starts speaking because he's always been there speaking. See what I'm saying? So this is a very simple science. You're able to resonate. And I'm going to say a word now that you might not understand, but I'll make it clear. Telemetry is a secret science. You see, they're able to control people if they can put people into a telemetric place, subconsciously, unconsciously. See, if you go out today in your car and you turn on the radio, you're going to hear a song. This is the old science that they're bringing back, but you don't understand it. See, you listen to the radio, you don't know that there's 50,000 other people listening to the same song. And so they're going to mix certain things with that song. But that song is not like a sea shanty. See, the sea shanties are designed, they're organized, they're crafted. Sea shanties, not just a sea shanty. It's an angular chant of the heavens. This is where your names are singing. This is the origin of the angels that are your names. And they're in time, and they're in good time, because they're with the Father. See, the Father is the pattern that the Master brings. And when you're able to sing with the Master, you become into good time. Your heart becomes full of joy and bliss. When your heart is full of joy and full of bliss, where are you going? What's that going to go to? That's going to go to its like. That's going to go to his Father in heaven. So this is the secret science, and this is the basics. Now we can keep going on about this. I can meet you here again tomorrow morning, and I can go on, and we can talk about it. But you see it yourself. That Gleason's map got a black dot in the middle. That's where you die. That's where your energy, that electric energy, goes to sit with the Master. When you're centered, when you're put before the throne of the Master's in you. When you see the face of the Master, you won't be able to understand his look. But you see, he'll put before you a key. And in that key, and on that key, is your hand. And you'll understand it. And when you wake up, you understand that everything is within you. And all you got to do is sing. But you got to sing in good coordinate or good correspondence. And that's what this is all designed for. You see, I might be making a bit of fun out of this. But you see, what I'm trying to say to a few is that these are the songs that are written by the Master. And so if you go and you follow the mantra trainer, what it is in fact is a soul trainer. And if you get upon a ship and you get a berth, it's not second chance, it's a second birth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you go on the ship, you wake up now this morning, and first thing you do at sunrise, you start your sea chanty. It's a chant, it's a mantra, it's a soul trainer. See what I'm saying? Look, this is the secret science. And I want you to understand something. A secret science of your own self. You're not going to save the world with this. This is about your own self. So forget about the world. Focus on your own ship. Because you only come here for one thing, to learn about a lie. That's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? You have to be able to handle the lie of this world. And this world cannot hold the truth. Why? Because everything in this world, as you see it, is perishable. And whatever is perishable cannot be held. It dissolves. It's like your sandcastle. A wave comes in, it washes it away. But you see, that's what the good morning is for. When you wake up, what did you do? You come up on a wake. It's a wave. You're in the wake of having a good morning because of the passing. So never you mind about what you're told here. Oh, you can't say that. Don't listen to that. See, every word is in step, is a holy word, is a holy second. And you don't have to count